All right. Good afternoon, good evening to those that are on the East Coast. Thank you for joining my session today. This session is Memorial Hospital in Jira, how efficiencies and support drive strategic work. So this session today, we're going to talk a little bit about how SpearMC has used Jira to gain additional insights into issues that Memorial has and then how we've addressed those. In the process along the way, we'll also talk a little bit about some things you can do to reduce, issues in general. And then we'll get more into the specific details of some of the things that we did. So I appreciate everybody for joining me today, and I look forward to any questions at the end. All right, so my name is Gary Dranikoski, and I'm a director with SpearMC, and I'm based out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. My background focuses on PeopleSoft along with reporting, analytics, and managed services. So many moons ago, I joined PeopleSoft directly out of grad school in their professional development program and have been doing basically PeopleSoft work or reporting and analytics work primarily on PeopleSoft, but I've had a few instances where I've done work with EBS and some other systems along the way, but primarily PeopleSoft data and ERP data from a reportings and analytics perspective. And then as we've gone live with projects, I've taken over support roles in some of those organizations and really managed the processes. So when I came to SpearMC a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, just about now, I came into this role where I'm leading the analytics practice as well as the managed services. So that's where we are today. SpearMC, we've got quite a few sessions here at Reconnect, and I've only done this one time here. Yeah, so if we focus in here, tomorrow we have 3 sessions left. It's Jessica, she's doing a session on grants. Cameron is doing a session on chatbots, and then Tom Treader is doing a session on automated testing. So if you haven't been to any of our other sessions, go back and review the videos, some very good content here, and then view one of the sessions live tomorrow, so 12:15, 2:15. I guess these two are competing with one another, but yeah, check them out. Thank you. So SpearMC, we are a nationwide firm. We've got 8 offices around the U.S. We started in 2004 in San Francisco, and then in 2019, the Pittsburgh office opened whenever I joined SpearMC. This next slide, this is something that we're really excited about at SpearMC. In the latest version of the Gartner Market Guide for Oracle Professional Services, SpearMC was recognized as the only sole PeopleSoft vendor in that publication. So for those of you that have access to Gartner, I recommend you go out to their site and you can pull up the report. This is just, you would have to log in to actually read the report, but this is a little bit about what the full report is about, and SpearMC is featured in here for our work in professional and managed services infrastructure professional managed services. So yeah, please check it out, and always good to, flash your badges when you have them. A few other things, we have our certification, so formerly a platinum partner, but now we have our specializations in PeopleSoft as well as Oracle Cloud Platform. The services that we offer focus 100%, well, probably 90 to 100% around PeopleSoft Platform. I mean, all the various modules, FSCM, HCM, ELM, Campus, and then underneath those, really think about managed services. So what are we doing on the managed services side? The Oracle Cloud and hosting, emerging technologies, training. Training is actually where we got started as a firm, so a long time training specialist with PeopleSoft, and then the analytics and Hyperion EPM space, OBIEE. A lot of that work has evolved through some of the PeopleSoft work that we have, and then we had folks who have done those specializations throughout their career, and they're able to leverage kind of the PeopleSoft side as well as the other applications. All right, so what is managed services? Managed services at SpearMC, we are really referring to infrastructure hosting, technical support, functional support, testing, documentation, and staying current. So this is really that suite of products or offerings that SpearMC brings to the table to our clients. So when we talk about managed services, it could really be any one of these areas. And, these are things that we work with customers to determine exactly which one of those particular pillars or branches from the managed services in the middle there, which one you actually need, and we'll come up with the right solution for you. So that's where this is, a customized, flexible contract. So we will work with customers to do maybe ad hoc managed services, or it could be some sort of monthly service support all the way across the board. We do strategic services, and then we also provide the support with our domestic leads. And then finally, we provide visibility to all of our customers. When I say visibility, I mean, in our Jira system, many of our customers have the same access that SpearMC has to view the issues that we're working on, viewing the hours, viewing everything that we do. So we are very transparent when it comes to our customers. And I truly believe that is one of the reasons why SpearMC has maintained our customers, in particular in our managed service space, for so long. So the agenda for today, enough talking about SpearMC, let's focus on what we actually want to cover here today. And that is and I just realized why I'm looking at the wrong screen, because I didn't have the right one up. Anyway, what we're going to talk about today, the title of this presentation is Memorial Hospital and Jira, How Efficiencies in Support Drive Strategic Work. So before we jump into things specifically that we did at Memorial Hospital, I want to talk about ways to minimize support, and then talk about the support framework, and specifically Jira, and some of the things we looked for whenever we were selecting that tool. Then finally, we'll look at the actual case study, and then if there are any questions at the end, we will review those. All right, so how do you minimize support needs? You're going to do that through intuitive design, providing self-help to your users, and leveraging emerging tech. So with each one of these, I'll go into a little bit of detail of some of the type of things you can do to really help your users help themselves and eliminate the need for some of the calls that you may be getting today. So first of all, design principles. The first one listed there is to minimize complexity and really eliminate special requirements. So if you look at the graph there, do we really need the yellow bulb, or were all the black bulbs good? Why did they have the coiled up cords? Keep it simple. Maybe we just need one yellow bulb on a straight cord. So think about that as you are designing your system as well, right? There are things that one person may need or somebody else may need it another way. Do you truly need that? Determine what the real need is and design around that. Second, leveraging page and field configurator. So that is a way to eliminate customizations by using a technology that has been provided through Peopletools. Third, bring offline forms and processes into PeopleSoft. Rather than maintaining a process or an additional system or additional data set, you want to keep all of that information and move that actually into PeopleSoft, so you're not maintaining it in multiple places. And it really streamlines and simplifies the process. Next, page and field configurator in a little bit more detail. So for those that are not familiar with page and field configurator, in this example, we have a box or a field called activity owner. And prior to page and field configurator, if you wanted to change the name of activity owner, you would have needed to create a custom object in App Designer and take it through the full development process. But with page and field configurator, you can now use that to rename this right here, and it now says responsible party there, but this would not be a customization that you need to worry about during an upgrade, because it would all be handled through configuration, and those changes would migrate and will not be affected. All right, the next thing, self-help. So enable your users to help themselves, right? And invest in training. That's kind of an obvious one, but if you find yourself getting a lot of support calls, you start asking the questions. Why do we get these calls? Do people not understand exactly what they need to do? And if it's repeated, maybe it's just one person. So as you look at how many times one person has opened a ticket and is it related to the same item, is that an opportunity to train them? Then a second type of self-help really is on the next page, and that's going to be related content and actions. So this is another delivered PeopleSoft functionality where you can allow users to get additional information about a particular item on the page. So in this case, basically the question is, can I get more information about what I'm doing here? And you would be then drilling into this cost history by clicking on this related content. There's also related actions. So in this case, these are more hyperlinks that will actually take you to another page and allow you to take action on whatever you're on this page and you need to address. So instead of, if you think about it, it's really enabling the workflow of the process and keeping it smooth for your users. Next is chatbots. So this is an emerging technology, and I'll be honest, I used to hate chatbots. I can't stand, especially if you feel like you know exactly what you want and you start talking and then you're getting these questions. But over time, I've definitely warmed up to them, and I think in the PeopleSoft space, that's the same thing. I mean, these allow your support agents to not have to answer a lot of basic questions. I mean, prior you may have had a repository of documents and somebody could go out and search through those and find what they need. But by having chatbots and having users be able to just interactively talk to these virtual agents, they are able to get a lot of the information that they may need. So I think it's a great technology and something that many organizations are starting to adopt. I know as I talk about Memorial here, we recently did a presentation with them talking about chatbots and something that they are evaluating further. So it's definitely exciting times, especially whenever you show it to some of the business users, people that are discussing or helping out with open enrollment. They're just like, eyes got real big. Oh, chatbots, that'd be awesome. So another opportunity. All right. So those are ways that you can minimize your support needs, but at the end of the day, you are not going to eliminate all support needs by doing what I showed you on the previous slide. So in order to support your organization and really enable all these different changes, you want to establish a support framework. And by doing that, you often will use a software. SpearMC, we chose Jira software as our centralized platform for issue management. Our communications protocol and schedule, what I'm referring to there is, how do you get information out of that to your users that's relevant and timely? And then a process for prioritizing work. So there you will need to look at all the tickets that come in, and hopefully it's not always in hundreds and just a few, but things pile up and priorities change, or you have enhancement requests and things. So as those items come in, how do you prioritize that? That's an important factor when you're establishing this framework. And then finally is, where is your knowledge base? So you've captured so much information, but can you get information out that helps you solve the next problem? If there is something related to something that you've already done, how do you get that? All right, so SpearMC, we chose Jira Service Desk software, and I think they actually renamed this now to, I forget what it is, but I feel like they did rebrand this since I actually made this slide and didn't, I forgot that and didn't update it. Anyway, why we chose this. It's a cost-effective solution. So the licensing costs were clear. We had the ability to have our agents that you pay for, and then a customer portal that is free. So anybody who just wants to log a ticket is able to get into there. Thought that was a really good model. So we're only paying for our super users and not for the actual end users who are just logging issues and getting feedback on those. The next one, easy to set up and use. So as you go and look at a lot of different systems, there are a wide array of timeframes and implementations required. And for us, it was pretty quick and easy to get Jira up and running. And you're able to do a lot of customizations. And we've evolved a lot of the things that we've done over time, but the initial install up and running was within a few weeks, and testing, and then we've tweaked it and made some changes and enhancements, and it's just it's worked out really well. It's very scalable. So we have a couple different projects and designs that we use based on the type of support that we're doing, but we can share or reuse some of those workflows and just create new projects, and that's very easy, very scalable. And once again, going back to the cost effective, if we have the same support folks on multiple projects, you're only paying for them once, which was very nice as well. Time tracking, that really focuses on our service level agreements, time estimates, and reporting. So we are able to track time spent on every issue. And now they have a clock where you could technically punch in, punch out. We're not 100% doing that. We're really just tracking how much time we spent, so we can go in and just enter that without having to punch a clock in and out. Then finally, the last one is integration with other products. So we are able to share information with customers, developers, service desk team, and there are APIs that you can integrate to other systems. So quite often, our service desk that we manage all of our work with is a tier 2 or tier 3 system. So our customers may have Sharewell, ServiceNow, some other system. They can integrate basically a push from their system into our Jira system and automatically create a ticket, or we also do some of that integration just through email where we'll generate the ticket and then we pick it up from there and go through the process of prioritizing the work. So that's really Jira Service Desk and why we chose that. So now I want to talk a little bit about Memorial Hospital in Gulfport. So they are a regional hospital in southern Mississippi, right along the Gulf Coast there. So I kind of like when I get to go down there for a trip, especially in the winter coming from the north. But, they've received quite a few accolades, and they're a decent sized hospital, for the state of Mississippi. So very, very proud to be doing work with them. What were they looking for when we went there? So they had a previous managed services provider. They were looking for a new provider, just sort of a fresh approach to support, as well as some cost effectiveness in the contract with flexibility. And then they wanted to update some of their processes. And the other part of our initial engagement was we were helping them with their PeopleSoft 9.1 to 9.2 upgrade. So we helped basically take over the upgrade as well as all the managed services. What we're doing there and what I want to talk about specifically is application support. And the reason I like to talk about Memorial Hospital and their application support and use of Jira is they were actually the first customer that SpearMC used Jira for. So prior, we had another system, but we kind of grew out of that and homegrown system, and we moved to Jira with just all the integrations and data points and reporting that we could do from there. We thought it was a it was a no-brainer once we evaluated several of them. But when we went in, we were looking for ways to improve the overall process, provide the transparency that we talked about, the real-time reporting, and the ability to just share knowledge amongst their folks as well as ours, and the collaboration of being able to communicate with one another. And based on conversations that I had with them, you know, we really helped to reduce their overall support costs by about 15%. So that was a nice win for them, and really a way for us to establish ourselves as you know, a value add to the organization. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to click on this video and show a few things in Jira. So this is the customer portal, where if your customer needs to log in and really just log their own issue directly in here, they can do that. And this is something that you set up as a Jira Service Desk customer. But here you want to add the detail, right? So everything that you can get into here is information that you can extract out later. And that is important because as we go through these slides, you will see how we take all the information that's in Jira and really drive additional decisions within the organization. So in this example, yeah, report not generated, we're just going to put a few things in here, but this is what the end user would actually be adding. And they'll set their priority, then we end up reviewing that, but the initial priority and all of those things that will drive our SLAs. So now the support team will actually get the tickets, and I didn't show the view where it just comes in, but this right here is basically a queue or a view of all the tickets that they may have had open. And when you click on this particular issue, you can get on here, you can add your comments in here. Then there's our statuses, which are all driven from our workflow. And the workflow behind that, this is something that we set up and try to use this repeatable workflow across the same type of support that we do for various organizations. So in this case, this workflow is very simple. This is the exact same workflow we're using at 3 other organizations, but we have another one because they're not as complex in some of the stuff they're doing that we don't need all those various things. And what I talked about earlier was logging time. Here you can go in and put just really the 1 hour that you spent, mark the day that you put it in, make a note as to what you worked on, and then we save that off. And once again, putting the notes in there tied to what you worked on. Obviously, it's tying it to this particular ticket, but it also then ties additional notes to those hours so that we understand exactly what we spent time on. And at the end of the month, whenever you get the total of the amount of hours, someone may want to look back and see where all the time went. So yeah, that's a oops, sorry, my mouse is very touchy for some reason. So the next thing I want to talk about is leveraging data, the data that is in the system. So this is how you can identify issues that are recurring. And we talked a little bit about that earlier with the training, and are you able to identify where you're spending all of your time or all of your money on issues. So a lot of data is being captured in the system, but Jira also has several very nice dashboards and reports that you can use. And there are also some additional bolt-on applications that are available in the Jira Marketplace that you can get more reporting. I'm focusing mostly on really what is available without having to purchase anything else or download, even if there's a free app. I'm not focusing on any of those. It's really focused on what you can get with a delivered product. So there's a dashboard that they basically have all these widgets, and you can add them to a dashboard. And from here, you can drill into these, or you can basically take all this information and use it to make decisions. And I'm going to talk about that similar to what I did with the video with the Jira system. I'm going to do a quick video with the Jira dashboards as well. So once again, leveraging data to make decisions. So this becomes a one-stop shop for status and problem areas. This can be customized by each user, or it can be a shared dashboard for your entire team. In this case, I just put a lot of stuff on here just to show, but you know, over here, this one I just clicked, or it's highlighting on, is recently added. These are created versus resolved, so you can see we're creating 39, but we've resolved 33. You can get status day by day through here. So, you know, depending on how granular you want to look at that. Now, this one, I really like this. Which areas do most of your issues occur? And I show this through a pie chart here, and then sort of the breakdown underneath by, you can see the percentage up there, but the actual number of issues down below. So really here, I'm seeing payroll for North America. Looks like we have some quite a few issues there. Now, what I also showed over here is a different way to view this data, which is the word cloud. And the word cloud, for those that are not familiar with it, the words that are the largest, those provide the most, that's where your most hits are for that data set. So once again, this lines up with payroll for HCM payroll for North America. I really like the dashboards. Think back to the beginning of my conversation. My background is reporting and analytics, so this is cool stuff to me. Right here, this is showing break fixes versus routine maintenance. And then at the bottom, there are quite a few charts that are really related to time metrics. So how long was something open with an SR? How long? So really, if you opened a ticket, we marked it in there. We had an SR with Oracle. That was one of those things we were just tracking. Well, these issues never seem to get closed once we end up going there, right? That's a possibility. Other just information related to items being open, cool little bubble chart there. So you can go in, see days open, comments, recent comments. And that's really to make sure that things are happening and things aren't just getting stale and sitting out there over time. All right, I'm actually gonna pause 1 second. See, I didn't miss any questions. I didn't have the chat up here. I don't see any questions, but just making sure that nobody had any questions when I was going through this. Thank you. All right. Next, the PeopleSoft Roadmap. So when we talk about information that we are getting out of all that data in Jira, what are you doing with that data? What we're doing is we're putting together a roadmap, and we are looking at all the various things that we have going on at this organization. And we've got a Peopletools upgrade. We've got, you know, database hardware refreshes. We've got activities related to other implementations. Down at the bottom, you have just standard things that happen each year. So how do we fit all that in? The information that we extracted out of the system was, well, we didn't have maybe this Peopletools upgrade slated until 2022, but based on everything that we saw, actually, well, up here you can see here, we moved up and we're going through this process right now, the image updates from PUM 27 to 3X. This was a new customer that we had recently taken over, and we are getting them current. And this really is some of the decisions on when we do this or why we do this. They all came out of data that we extracted from there. As we looked at where our problem child areas were, could they be addressed with functionality that was in some of these PUMs or in these images? But something we continue to, as for our managed services client, this PeopleSoft Roadmap is really our Bible, right? We look at it from a 5-year view, but we're constantly trying to look at other things that are happening and places that we could, you know, increase the, I don't know if the viability is the right word, but increase the system, and the usability is the word I was looking for our end users, and ways to reduce cost overall for the clients. So if we find, you know, a bunch of issues in a particular module, we may want to do some sort of optimization effort on that module, and when do we fit that in based on, if we looked at all the tickets, maybe in that case all the tickets for lease for whatever reason only happen late in the year, we can take that time frame, look at that and say, okay, well, let's slate this then for late Q2, Q3 to get that work done so that next year we don't hit the same issues. So in summary here, really looking for ways to minimize support needs and cost. And we talked about several different ways to do that. Streamlining the way you design things by using delivered technologies, page and field configurator, chatbots. Those are all great ways to get your support needs down and empowering your end users by training them. Then establishing a framework for managing support. So that really is what I focused on in the Jira slides. So how did we, what can you get into the system? How can that help you manage your process easily and efficiently? Then the next one is utilizing the data that's available to you. And we looked at all those different dashboards and information that we're getting out of there and how we're able to then feed that into our roadmap and take that information to a steering committee meeting or to whoever needs that information to make a decision to help you make your PeopleSoft environment much more robust. And then finally, I would recommend to partner with an expert. And like I said earlier, there's a whole range of managed service offerings that a company like SpearMC offers, and you can do that from a monthly support contract that's just renewing. You can do that on demand. We can help out with getting you current and training. So find a partner that you trust. There's a lot of information that these firms, particularly SpearMC, bring to the table. And then finally, I wanted to highlight again all the various sessions that we have put together this week. We spent a lot of time getting these sessions together, and I think there's just great information, and not just SpearMC. So it's hard to view all the sessions when they happen, and that's the beauty of the virtual conference, is you are able to go back and review all those sessions. But live and in person tomorrow, we have 3 more sessions, so check those out if that's something you're interested in. All right, that is pretty much the end of my presentation here today. I wanted to leave a little bit of time for questions. I do think this was going to take a little bit longer than what it did, but are there any questions by anyone that's an attendee? No questions? Well, I appreciate everybody hanging out late in the day with me, and hopefully you're able to take some of this information and apply it to your organization. And obviously, if you have any questions or need anything else, my contact information is on the screen. I would love to hear from you and talk a little bit more about how you're supporting your PeopleSoft environment. All right, thank you.